Uh, uh, wow, a 3-stream streak. Go Wazzy. Most based Giga Chad streamer. Let's go. Can't wait to do some React. I think you can wait because the React content is World of Warcraft. I think anyone could wait for this. Actually, anyone. 25 minutes of WoW content.
Hi everyone, I'm Claystone, Associate
Holy
Production
shit,
Director.
calm down, Claystone.
Welcome to our Season of Discovery Phase 3 preview.
For context, Phase 3 is coming out on the 4th of April, and originally it was thought that it was going to be in like the 15th or the 20th of April or something like that. Can we watch on 2 times speed? That's probably not a bad idea. Playback speed, 2.
As our team has shared in the past, we have been blown away by the reception to Season of Discovery, and we're so excited.
No, I'm gonna get like ear aids. Maybe.
To share this sneak peek at what's
1.25. Okay.
So with that, let's take a look at what we'll be covering today. We'll kick things off with raid information. Then,
new raid.
Followed by our PvP updates.
Also, rune abilities. Okay. Rune abilities. I want a good rune for Tank Rogue. Okay? Tank Rogue. Carson, if it was Zoomer attention span, I would have Family Guy on screen.
Being made to world events. A look at what's coming.
Okay, also world events, they're going to put so they did this with Ashenvale, and they're going to do it with the Blood Moon thing. So what it's going to be is Ashenvale is going to happen every 3 hours, and then 1 hour after Ashenvale, they're going to have the Blood Moon event, and that's going to happen every 3 hours. And I think Phase 3 is getting another PvP event, and that's going to happen every 3 hours as well. So theoretically, there's going to be something need one more event. And then you're set up.
Coming to professions, and close it out with a very important system update. And more, which you're definitely going to want to stick around
A system.
Right.
So you got to stick around for the more, guys.
We're going to put the build up on PTR soon to check our era and hardcore realms. But like all the other phases, Phase 3 of Season of Discovery will not have a PTR for player testing.
Woo! Straight up took them 20 years to figure out that having a beta ruins your fucking game. If you can solve the problem before you're given it, it fucking ruins it.
Still, there will be some data mining that occurs in advance of the launch. But as we've been saying since the beginning of Season of Discovery, not everything data mined will actually be in the phase or future phases. So speculate beware.
I love it. I love that they're doing that with SOD.
Discover in this upcoming phase and beyond than we're going to talk about ahead of time. And we want your feedback. Everything we do across
they want their feedback.
A journey that is chosen by you, the players. And we can't wait to hear your thoughts on all of it. All right, so I'm sure it is a total surprise that
Yo. Okay, this is a base dungeon. Unironically, a base dungeon. I'm glad they're choosing this for the raid. 20 players. I don't know how I feel about that.
No one saw coming that the Temple of Atal Hakar, a.k.a. the Sunken Temple, will be our new and first 20.
Oh boy, LFG
This
ST.
is jam-packed with 8 bosses, tons of new items, including new item sets, new and revamped epic drops, and up-leveled and rebalanced quest rewards.
Ooh.
This is also when the level 50 class quests come online, which will provide a wide array of powerful items for each class. Jumping into a quick preview.
What does the rogue get?
Bosses, the first boss in this raid is Atalarion.
I don't even remember how to activate this boss. If you look, there's a laser on every balcony. But every time I've leveled through Sunken Temple, right? Because, Sunken Temple, you're going to run it a few times if you're leveling, and there's some decent drops. I just let my group do the boss activation, because I straight up don't remember how this goes. Like, 110%, no fucking clue how you, activate the boss.
A massive berserker troll that acts as a bit of a janitor, cleaning up or potentially eating any person or thing that happens to fall down from the atrium above. If the fall doesn't kill you, this guy definitely will. Next up, we have a brand new boss, the Festering Rot Slime. This engorged
festering
inexorably patrols one of the outer rings of the Sunken Temple, consuming any wandering adventurers hapless enough to cross its path. A bit further into the raid, we have Jamal An and Ogum, a priest and an undead avenger, utterly dedicated to seeing the blood god Hakar return to the mortal world. These two will keep you on your toes and have a future.
It's actually incredibly based that, like, what, it's like 45 to 50 is where I think. I'm probably misremembering, but it's like 45 to 50 is where you would go to Sunken Temple, and then by the time you're 60, you do that one fucking raid that is like, is it a raid? I think it's a raid. They're like, oh yeah, we summoned the blood god. We succeeded. You stopped us before, but we got it now. Really cool. Really cool. Love that.
Tricks up their sleeve to keep the fight interesting each time you encounter them. The last boss in this preview is the mighty green dragon, Oranicus. Oranicus has been having a bit of a bad dream for the past few decades, and that dream is manifesting in our world in a variety of ways, which Nora will talk about in just a little bit. For those that make it to his lair, we can't recommend waking this big beast up, but if you do and are able to prevail,
wake up, Oranicus, what happened on 9/11?
Here's a quick look at some of the awesome rewards you'll find inside the Sunken Temple. First up, we have a new take on the Drakestone item with a new Shadow Arcane spell damage variant.
Okay.
Next up is a rather unique weapon. Yes, it's an axe gun. Shamans and paladins.
What? I'm sorry, what? The Temple Explorer's Gun Axe. A two-handed axe, which on use, fires the gun axe at your target, dealing fire damage and basic damage over 10 seconds with a 1-minute cooldown.
Have felt
that is retarded.
Sometime when it comes to having ranged weapons, and short of Egan's blaster, there's not much for them. Now, you too can have a gun that you can swing like an axe or shoot like a gun, with a cooldown, of course. It's unfortunately a bit slow on the reload. Lastly, we have a quick look at our tier tokens. Similar to AQ40, we'll have 2 different tokens with several classes on each. We really like the token system in Nomergon, but it sometimes felt a bit bad to be rolling against the entire raid whenever one dropped. So now we have 2 different tokens.
Absolutely real.
Multiple will drop on each boss that can drop set tokens. And here's a quick look at some of the epic rewards. First off, we've got a glow up for the classic Embrace of the Serpent robe for healers.
Cloth!
We've
Who
also
asked?
updated the sword Dragon's Call. One cool thing about this weapon is that we've added several.
This matters for me. Plus 16 attack power. Calls forth an Emerald Dragon Whelp to protect you in battle for a short period of time. I don't know enough about the items that are going to be in Phase 3, but I want that just because of the raw attack power bonus that it gives you.
Several brand new glow effects for weapons in this patch. And this is one of the first items to take advantage of having a very fancy, but still quite classic.
Ooh,
and just like in previous
that's
raids,
clean.
we've got several fun items lined up as well. The first item is the Atalai Blood Ceremony, which allows you and a friend or frenemy to play a deadly game where only one survives. This item is great for when you need to decide something, and a coin flip just won't cut it. The Unorthodox Hex Stick allows you to embrace your inner critter and transform into a disgusting little creepy crawler to dazzle and disgust your friends. These are just a few examples, and there are several cool things.
I still want to get the fucking... I want to get the shades from Nomer still. I'm going tomorrow, I think. Tonight's Wednesday. I'm going to Nomer tomorrow. I really want those glasses to drop.
We've intentionally left the best ones for you to discover yourself. Lastly, one bit of feedback we took to heart this patch was that a lot of updated quest rewards for previous level up raids could feel a bit underwhelming. So for Sunken Temple, we've actually gone a step further and helped rebalance and restat many of the existing quest rewards. The first example here is a Vanguard Helm, and you can see we've made it a bit more attractive to the classes that can use it.
Okay.
And Helm of Exile as well. And while not a quest reward,
those don't matter to me.
Some of the work
Leather user.
Updating dungeon drops in the previous phase, and revamped even more dungeon drop rewards, including Princess Therodros's Scepter.
Ooh.
And with that, I'll turn it over to Matt to give us a preview of runes and just some of the new abilities you'll get access to.
Hey folks,
runes!
I'm Senior Engineer on the Classic team. I'll go over some of the new runes you might find.
Please, I will get down on my knees. I will fillet you. Please, give me a rune that makes tanking on Rogue bearable. I beg you. I beg you. Make Rogue tank work. That's all I ask.
Find in Phase 3. Before that, I want to note that we heard your feedback that a lot of runes last phase weren't accessible until level 40. We've tried to balance Phase 3, so you'll find more runes while leveling, but you'll still have some to look forward to at 50. Let's look at Druids first. Gore gives you a chance to reset some key feral cooldowns and generate some rage. And Barkskin gives you all the benefits of Barkskin without the drawbacks, and you can cast it on your friends. Next up are
It's just straight up better, okay.
Your traps grant you a free shot with no cooldown. This could be a great 1-2 punch with something like double Chimera Shot. Focus Fire lets your pet build up Frenzy, which increases its attack speed. You can activate it to
I
consume your
guess
pet's Frenzy,
bracers
boosting your
and
attack
helm.
speed.
Helm's already a... No, is Helm already a slot? I think Helm might be
Granting your
new.
pet Focus. Next up are Mages. Deep Freeze is a powerful 5-second stun on a frozen target. If the target's immune to stuns, it takes significant damage instead. Balefire Bolt
That's
makes you live
cool.
on the edge of risk and reward, dealing heavy damage but decreasing your spirit. If you reach 0
Bro.
spirit, you die. And by the way, if
It's a
you're leveling new
warlock
mage,
ability.
you
They're
must find this
giving a
room earlier in
warlock
your
ability to the mage. What the
Increased
fuck?
Sanctuary makes you even tankier, increasing Sanctuary's damage blocked and damage dealt back to attackers. Wrath lets you crit with Consecration and applies your melee crit chance to your Holy Shock, Holy Wrath, and Exorcism spells. Let's look at Priests. Pain and Suffering allows your Mind Flay ability to refresh the duration of Shadow Word Pain, while Surge of Light causes your crits to make your next Smite or Flash Heal instant cast. Rogues. Honor Among Thieves is incredibly powerful, granting you a combo point each time a party member scores a crit. It does
Okay, that's kind of based. That's kind of based. Like free combo generation? Oh, that's kind of dirty.
have a short cooldown, but you'll be swimming in combo points with this rune. Cut to the Chase makes it easier to keep Slice and Dice up by allowing Eviscerate and Envenom to refresh it back to its max duration.
That's actually just a straight DPS rune. Wait a minute. Eviscerate and Envenom. Eviscerate. I actually don't remember what Eviscerate is. Give me a second. Whoop. Eviscer. Is it just the purple blade? I'm a visual learner, okay? No, it's the combo fucking investor. Okay, yeah. They're both combo concluders, but they also abilities refresh either Slicer Dice or Blade Dance duration to its 5 combo point max. If both are active, only one with the shortest remaining duration will be refreshed. Okay. So, let's see. You're not going to be running Envenom on a tank build, I don't think. But if you're running Eviscerate, you use Eviscerate to activate... Okay, no. Mutilate. Slice and Dice. No. Mutilate. Blade Dance. Mutilate. Slice and Dice. Mutilate. Normal attack. And then Eviscerate. And that has a chance of... Or. Not and. Or. Okay, so as a chance of doing either of them, it would be the lowest one, and then you'd mutilate, normal attack, and then Eviscerate again. And you get to do damage while also cashing in your combo points to get... I really like that. That's good. That's not straight DPS. That's tanking. That's straight tanking. That's based. I like that. Cut to the chase, and that goes on bracers. I'm a fan. I like that.
Next up are Shamans. When you deal melee damage, Mental Dexterity applies your intellect to your attack power, and then applies 30% of your attack power to your spells. Riptide is a fan favorite that
That's just
instantly
as
heals your
tiring.
for an initial amount, and then heals for a similar amount over time. When you chain heal
Okay,
with Riptide,
so retail
you
shaman.
power up the
Retail
chain.
shaman healing, okay.
Pandemic makes damage over time spells even more overwhelming by letting them crit. With this rune, you can summon the iconic
Ooh,
Felguard to
critting
supplement the
dots?
The Felguard is a powerful melee damage dealer
I'm a fan.
capable of both tanking and dealing out serious punishment. He's not the only new demon you can summon this phase, but I'll let you discover that on your own.
More
Warriors.
demons,
With
pog.
Taste for Blood, your rend damage lets you use Overpower once per 6 seconds. Sword and Board gives your Devastate and Revenge a chance to reset Shield Slam's cooldown and make it cost no rage. This time, Warriors get a bonus rune. The much-requested Gladiator stance lets you live that Sword and Shield Gladiator fantasy. This increases your damage remaining shield, as well as letting
Yo,
you use
let's
at
go.
the cost of survivability. This is one
Dude.
we've really been looking forward to bringing to the season. and we can't wait to
Fucking
see what
warriors are gonna be so strong.
watching players
Fuck.
together to find all the new runes each phase, and I'm looking forward to this one. Up next, Nora will join us to talk about PvP updates.
Oh boy, PvP.
My name's Nora Valletta, and I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic. I'm here to talk about some of the other updates we've got coming in Phase 3, starting with PvP. One of the things we've learned from previous phases is that PvP can be a bit rough when the only thing available is PvE gear that is generally set up with output stats rather than survivability stats. As a result, we're going to be introducing a brand new level 50 PvP set that requires ranks 5 through 7 to equip and earn. This is similar to the rank 10 and rank 13 PvP sets in that it's a full 6-piece set with appropriate PvP set bonuses.
Okay,
There will also
this is sick. I think I said this to... I either said this on stream or I said this in a script that I was writing that I scrapped. But the PvP gear really fucks up like the flow of like the end game of a season, because the PvP gear is just flat out better than Nax gear. So seeing lower tier sets that you can use before Nax that won't absolutely fuck everything up is pretty cool. I really hope Final Phase Season of Discovery, they actually like are like, no. Dude, don't fucking unpause my video. I really hope they make it so, like, you know, you can't have the fucking level 60 PvP set until after Nax is cleared or something, you know? Like, don't, like, letting people go into Nax with that fucking gear is just a complete spank.
From a new faction called the Emerald Wardens, but we'll go into more detail on them later on.
Here's oh boy.
A few of the new PvP set items.
Give me a minute. Plate, leather, cloth. Okay, leather. Headpiece. It's for Druid. I don't care.
Are a bit more specialized and focused than the previous level 60 PvP sets were. Each class will have a variety of sets available to them, such that multiple different specs or roles are covered. We're also making a few adjustments to the Blood Moon event, including adding brand new rewards for level 50. We'll also be adding a new currency for the level 50 rewards called Massacre Coins, which you'll earn when killing higher level players in the event. We'll be retiring the Bloodstained commendations that are currently available from the Bloodcoin vendor. Any existing commendations that you have will still function after the patch, but don't hold on to them forever. They will expire after 2 weeks. We think it's okay if you're able to bank these now to give you a bit of a leg up on PvP ranking at the start of the next phase, but we don't necessarily want you to be able to hoard enough coins to get you all the way up to rank 14 later on when that rank becomes available. We'll have a new PvP honor consumable token for level 50 as well, purchasable with the new currencies. And how about some gear? Here are a few of the new items available via the Blood Moon event.
Two-hand mace, don't care. Thrown weapon. Barbed spear. Librum of Draconic. No, it's a relic. Soulbound crossbow. Bloodthirst crossbow. Leech 5. Woo! Leech have 5 health from targets. It's Agi Stam. I don't know. Obviously, if you're tanking, you're mostly going to use it as a stat stick, and you're going to want more like spirit or whatever, or higher dodge stat. But whatever.
Do note that the Headhunter's Barbed Spear is a warrior-only weapon. We also realize that ranged hunters may have felt a bit left out last time, so we've gone ahead and given them a pretty strong crossbow option in this round. Well, Phase 3 of Season of Discovery
World event!
Will be upon us, and with it comes new loot, new opportunities to gain experience, and new adventure. Let's take a quick look at our new PvP world event called Nightmare Incursions. Picture, if you will, the 4 emerald portals scattered across Azeroth. At this point in history, the Dragons of Nightmare, Terrar,
Ayo, doing something with the emerald and fucking dream portals before, like, what? I want to say, like, fucking Wrath? Maybe even Legion?
Zondra, Emerus, and Lethan.
Hey, yo! No eating the hair tie! Get out of here!
However,
No!
As you approach each portal, you can't help but sense hidden danger. Something's not quite right. Those brave enough to enter an emerald portal will be plunged into a realm seeping with corruption and overrun with dragons, treants, and other poor souls driven mad by the corruption. But beware, not all foes are alike. Some enemies can be defeated by a single seasoned adventurer, while others are perhaps too powerful to be faced alone. Nightmare Incursions offer repeatable PvE content for levels 25 through 50.
Hey!
We enter one of the 4 emerald portals located.
Real talk, this is great. Considering how fast their cadence is going, like 1, 2, 3, bam, bam, bam. Don't get me wrong, Season Mastery was way too fucking slow. But, you know, bam, 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 right? Having content available for 25 and up is good. Making it so the phase content isn't just for that, like the top end, is good. And that will always be good, because you'll have either people re-rolling and they'll fucking get bored out of their skull, or you'll have people like me that beg their friends to play and then they don't want to play because WoW is a terrible game.
Located in Duskwood, Ashenvale, Hinterland, or Feralus. This is a great new opportunity to earn experience, and those who choose to jump in and fight the corruption will have the chance to earn reputation with an all-new faction called the Emerald Wardens.
Oh boy, new faction. I love renown grinds.
Very grateful for your help, and we'll be offering a selection of choice new items to sweeten the deal. One of the cool things about Nightmare Incursions is that we plan to include some rewards at different player levels, as there will be content available for players roughly level 20 all the way to 50 across all 4 Nightmare portals. The first example is this Nightmare Siphon
Trinket.
Which could be really fun for low-level alts. For level 50, we have the Roar of the Dream, a somewhat unique ring that has a sizable spell damage proc on it. Lastly, we also plan to take a page from the Burning Crusade playbook and make a level 50 PvP set available at Honored with the new Emerald Wardens faction. This set isn't as
Oh, okay, I see you.
This phase, but it's a good stepping stone into the better items later on. With the launch of
Base,
Phase 3
I
comes a
approve.
host of interesting new updates to professions. Continuing on from the first two phases, we'll be introducing a new quest chain to give players access to new nightmare armaments, crafting recipes, as well as some fun things for engineering, enchanting, and alchemy. We've also learned a few lessons from the previous phase of professions, so the cost to access the recipes will be essentially free in terms of raw gold, and the cost of the recipes that Ziri offers and Nomargon are going to be decreased as well, in case you want to buy additional recipes for completion.
I can't wait. Realistically, the only fucking leather shit that I'm going to be doing is like devil sword skinning. I've known this from the beginning. I haven't seen anything like super involved with leather working, and that's fine. That's fine. Although I'm kind of bummed.
Snag the recipes for themselves. We think gold sinks are important and are going to explore different ways later on to do that are not so directly on the critical path of gear progression. Here's a quick look at a few of the crafted items you can make this.
Leather. Immunity to fear for 15 seconds. Okay. But it's engineering, so it doesn't matter. Wait, I'm retarded. Leatherworking. Increases damage and healing done by magical spells and effects by up to 14. Restores 4 mana per 5 seconds. Damaging spells have a chance to increase your spellcasting speed by 10%. This has no effect outside of areas under the influence of the nightmare. Okay.
As you can see, some of these items offer interesting new on-equip effects which are applied while you're under the influence of the nightmare. If you'd prefer to stay nightmare-free, we've got some cool new items, such as the Void-powered Slayer's Vambraces, which can grant you immunity to fear for 15 seconds. We do plan to allow you to pick up specializations this phase, as well as allow you to level to 300 in each profession. Additionally,
Devil Sword leather is going to be farmed this fucking phase. I am going to lock down Ungaro Crater. I am going to Ungaro my nuts all over your face.
We've added a few new surprises here. For example, we are adding a quest to allow you to get additional potion, elixir, and flask procs when crafting those types of consumables. You'll also have to do a little bit of legwork to unlock these things, but the benefits should be well worth it. The lion's share of our new toys involving professions specs will be coming after level 60, and we have some very cool things planned there to allow you to make the most of your professions. Well, that was a lot of updates. I hope I didn't forget anything. Josh, I'm not forgetting anything, am I?
Now that you mention it, Nora, there is one small system update.
Josh! I remember this being the guy who, like, did the first, like, press thing at all about Season of Discovery. I fucking love Josh. Josh is the GOAT.
But first, hi, I'm Josh Greenfield, Senior Game Producer on WoW Classic. So there is one small system change coming, and honestly, the update is so minor, we almost didn't mention it, because we didn't think anyone would really care, but since we're all previewing things, we figured we might as well. So, in 1.15.2 with Phase 3, you may happen upon a dashing dwarf from a faraway land that has one very special talent that he wants to share with you, for a small fee, of course. Actually,
Dual talent spec!
2 sets of special talents to share. Like I said, we were pretty sure this wouldn't be a big deal to most players. We probably should have just left it out of the presentation entirely.
For context, my dear friends that don't enjoy WoW, dual spec is something that, like, 75-80% of people have been begging for the entirety of Classic. That is some heavy sarcasm.
The home stretch, but we've got a tiny bit more to discuss, and we want to take some time to cover a few other miscellaneous topics, commonly asked questions, as well as a quick look at how things will start to shape up at level 60. So let's jump right into that. So the first topic here is world buffs. As with the previous phases, we'll continue to allow you to use the previous world buff up through the current max level. The new raid, Sunken Temple, will also include a new world buff.
Woo!
We'll also be making some rather powerful consumables available for exchange on a certain NPC.
Oh my god, it's going to be base to level during the final phase. You can stack these fucking world buffs. Just sit in the well, no. Go to, like, Orgrimmar, Thunder Bluff. Either way, it'll be easy to get overpowered and level.
Using materials found in the Sunken Temple raid. These are spiritually similar to the Zanza elixirs that you could obtain by exchanging items found in Zul'Gurub. They're quite powerful, so you'll definitely want to bring them with you to the raid when you can. Also, as with previous phases, we did want to clarify that bankable, repeatable turn-in items will not function to allow you to level quickly from 40 to 50. We really love the preparation aspects of original WoW, and things like pre-questing are great, but being able to bank hundreds or even thousands of repeatable quest turn-in items to get multiple levels right when the phase begins is not going to be supported in this or any phase.
Based.
To be clear, this
Based.
includes things like Marks of Honor, Wastewander water pouches, and the troll necklaces from the hinterlands. One of the
They
biggest
really
things
said,
is
fuck you.
the level up journey and the outdoor world, but to also encourage players to play multiple characters. It's tricky to manage, especially against a seasonal backdrop where the content phases are relatively short by World of Warcraft standards. To help out with this a bit, we introduced a very powerful Discoverer's Delight XP buff at the midpoint of Phase 2. And while that was effective at increasing the speed at which you could level alts, it didn't really help to reduce the fatigue that came with leveling your first main character. By way of a compromise, in Phase 3, you will earn 50% additional XP from all sources from levels 40 to 49, and this will be active right when Phase 3 goes live. This is just...
Yes! Yes! They finally realized no one likes leveling!
just to give a slight nudge right away. It will still be a sizable number of hours to hit 50, but this will help move that along without feeling like you're either just flying through zones or conversely in danger of running out of quests if questing is your preferred leveling method. Note that the 100% buff from 1 through 39 will remain in place as well. Overall, we think that these buffs are a decent solution, but they aren't what we consider to be ideal. We're going to carry a lot of what we learned forward if we do something like this again, and maybe look at other adjustments we can make to help smooth the leveling curve in general. Additionally, as with Black Fathom Deep's...
There's another season after season of Discovery. Straight up, the way he worded that, they're already thinking about future plans. They're using the data from this season to see where people are burning out, what's causing them to burn out, and they're going to try to smooth the fucking leveling curve. That is fucking amazing. That is based. Imagine fucking dialing in classic WoW so you don't feel like a fucking retard for doing levels 50 to 60. God damn it.
Gnomeregan will give a sizable amount of XP for each boss kill, so continuing to run that with your guild will be a worthwhile...
Yes! Yes!
On the same token, we see Nightmare Incursions as a good quick way to get a good chunk of XP if you find yourself wanting a change of pace from your normal leveling routine. There's a lot of repeatable content that gives experience there. As for the raid release and lockout schedule, we've been thinking a lot about this, and we decided to shift Sunken Temple to a weekly lockout, and it will be available right at
Okay. So Sunken Temple is not only a 20-man instead of a 10-man, but it's also a 1 week instead of a twice a week. Okay.
Similar to what we did with Gnomeregan in Phase 2. Players will have 5 full days to hit level 50 if you want to try and get in a raid during that first lockout, and then the raid
and then they're gonna bust it down into twos. Okay, I understand.
We decided to make this swap for a few reasons. First, we've gotten feedback from players saying they would like to have a bit more consistency with their raid schedule, and with the raid size going up to 20 players in this phase, being able to plan long-term is even more important. We'll also talk about...
Wait, did I misunderstand? Is it once a week or twice a week?
To what the raiding landscape will look like once we hit level 60. That also informs this decision. Lastly, on this topic, we will be sure we are being generous with drops to compensate for this change. That's a good segue.
Okay, sick. Double drops for 1 week lockout. Again, I wrote a fucking script, I want to say the month before Season of Discovery came out, and there was a lot of things in there that they've been doing, and it's like, damn, I really should have made that video. I should have gotten off my ass and made that video. But either way, one of the things that I was like, dude, this is really important, is I did the math to figure out how many lockouts there were for the entirety of Season of Mastery, and how many lockouts there were for the entirety of Classic, I think, and then, finding out what percentage increase you need for drops, in raid, content like that, specifically lockout content, in order for it to not feel bad that you have less lockouts to work with inside of such a quick cadence. Yeah, I really should have made that video.
To dig into a few more details of what you can expect starting with Phase 4. This preview is very, very early and in no way comprehensive, but it's just meant to be a minor sneak peek at some things we have cooking. Again, to stress that much of what you will see here is still very much in development, and some specifics could and likely will change. This is more of a look at our general thought process, rather than the actual set-in-stone plans we have. As we alluded to a few slides ago, we plan to standardize raid lockouts from level 50 and beyond to a weekly reset. This includes things like Hub, Ruins of Anchorage, and Onyxia's Lair. We also want to ensure with our itemization updates, many of the items, even in early raids, remain relevant for a pretty good long time. Ultimately, this is a very classic approach, and many items you got, even as your pre-raid best in slot, such as the Hand of Justice or the Savage Gladiator chain, remained good for several tiers, and we want to carry this forward. With this in mind, however, we know you will likely want to run several different raids a week, but we want to avoid a situation where logistics gets messy because you have to contend with a large number of irregular, unwieldy raid lock timers. By the time Blackwing Lair is out, for example, there's going to be a large menu of relevant things to do at level 60, and being able to plan and schedule activities on a predictable cadence is going to be very important. Last quick note on this, while Upper Blackrock Spire is technically a 10-player raid, it's never had a lockout, and that will remain true. It's essentially a 10-player dungeon, and will remain that way. So go farm those Briarwood Reeds. Another very frequently asked question we've received is, what about weapon skill racial bonuses? From the start, we've suggested that you shouldn't need to worry too much about things like orc and human weapon skills long term, and that you should feel good about choosing whatever race you want based on their aesthetics or other bonuses that race gets apart from weapon skill bonus. Every phase, we get asked for a status update on this, and we just wanted to confirm that yes, the solution is coming at level 60. At level 60, you will be able to discover a method to essentially swap in and out up to 2 weapon skill bonuses for your character. So, for example, if I were a Troll Fury warrior and I had a mace and a dagger, I could swap my passive bonuses to +5 maces and +5 daggers. Please note that these weapon skill bonuses do not stack with
Damn!
or with a certain race's normal passive weapon skill bonus. So in the same scenario, if I were a human warrior, I already get +5 maces from the racial skill. So
I was really hoping you could stack them. Take like a race that's good at daggers, and then +5 and +5. You end up with a total of +15.
Instead, I might want to use +5 bows and +5 daggers, so that maybe my bow skill had a better chance to hit if I was pulling higher level mobs. Just like your racial skills, however, these passives will stack with any weapon skill you gain from items, such as Obsidian Edge Blade or Maladath Ruined Blade of the Black Flight. These unlockable passives will be available right at level 60, and while there will be a short discovery to unlock them, everyone who wants them will have access to them early on. Continuing that line of thought, yes, priests will also be able to unlock other races unique spells as well, such as Devouring Plague and Fear Ward. We don't want to spoil how this will work just yet, but just like weapon skills, we do get asked about this a lot and wanted to confirm that this was also coming and would be available early on at level
Cool.
60. There will also be discoveries tied to accessing these spells as well.
I wonder if there's going to be... I wonder if they're going to unlock... paladins and shamans if they're looking at racial spells and stuff like that. Because one of the things Classic, the big thing that TBC changed, was it gave Horde paladins and Alliance shamans. Huh. And even then, they still had like faction-specific spells. I want to say like Horde paladins had Blood Seal or Seal of Blood. I don't remember what shamans had. Don't care about shamans. But still.
This is the last big item in our level 60 preview, and we think it's the most impactful, as items are obviously going to be a major focus of the new level 60 in-game. We're essentially totally revamping tier sets to add multiple variants for different specs and roles that each class can fill. We don't necessarily intend to make a full set for every single niche playstyle in every raid tier, as some classes could end up with upwards of 5 to 7 sets every few months. But we do want to try and cover a lot of the major roles as
Rogue
well as the new
tank.
playstyles we've added to different classes.
They need to add a set for Rogue tank.
Get something cool at some point during their level 60 journey. Additionally, we plan to revamp many existing non-set dungeon and raid items at level 60, as well as adding new best-in-slot or nearly best-in-slot crafting options at 60. We think there's a lot of fun and interesting things we can do with the level 60 professions. And
Give me leather crafting shit, please.
Crafting more relevant for a longer period of time. Lastly, swapping profession specializations will be easier and more flexible, but will likely have a cost associated with doing so. We're
Okay,
still ironing
sick.
out the final design for what this will look like, but if you're familiar with how this worked in Burning,
He built the thing with a box of scraps!
Droppings.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Jesus Christ.
Finally, here's a few quick examples of what potential new tier sets could
Wait a minute. Druid, Rogue. Okay. Agi, Stam, Fire Res. Improves your chance to hit with all spells and attacks by 1%. Increases your chance to parry an attack by 1%. Those have got to be placeholders. Those sound a little whack. It's an 8-piece set. Wait, boots, belts, bracelets, chest piece, hood, gloves, pants, shoulder pads. Oh, but it's broken down to 358. Okay, so 3-piece, you gain 5 energy. Oh my god! That's based! I already like it. I already like the 3-piece. Okay, so 3-piece, you gain 5 energy every time you parry an attack. 5-piece, Blade Dance now also reduces the magic damage you take by 10%. Rogue Tank lives! 8-piece. Instead of putting the rogue into stealth, Vanish now grants 90% magic damage reduction for 5 seconds. So Vanish is just an oh shit button now. Like it already was, but you can't use it as the tank because if you vanish, you're just gonna fuck everyone, you know? Like if you're rogue tanking and you vanish, the fucking pack's just gonna disperse and fuck your party. But now you vanish and it's like, oh shit, I'm taking less damage. Oh my god, wait, could you stack that? I feel like you might be able to stack Vanish and... Is Vanish the spell I'm thinking of? Did I just say all that wrong? Maybe I'm thinking of Vanishing Powder versus Vanish. If Vanish is the ability that I now think it is, it reduces like the chance of things to hit you. Even then, that's still based. Don't get me wrong, the first one is probably the coolest. The second one's pretty close too, but the first one is really cool.
These are very much not finalized, so any of the stats or set bonuses could and probably will change. So first off, you'll notice
it's over for me. They're taking away the energy.
We've also got a Shocking and Paladin set that really plays up key abilities such as Exorcism and Holy Shock. Lastly, we have a Boomkin set that really leans into some of the bonuses we've recently added to Moonkin form. Again, these are somewhat early on, rough draft versions of some of these items, but we think being able to make exciting new variations of these iconic item sets is very cool, and it's going to be a defining feature of the level 60 endgame. So with that, we're done with today's presentation. Thank you for bearing with us on this one, as it was a long one. We've had a blast on this wild season of Discovery journey with you so far, and we honestly can't wait to get Phase 3 into your hands, as well as provide a bit more information on Phase 4 as we start getting a little bit closer to that. As always, we want to express a heartfelt thanks from the WoW Classic development team. Thank you for playing with us, thank you for the feedback, and thank you for the participation in helping us develop this season. We'll see you again when Season of Discovery
I helped.
goes live shortly. Thank you again, and goodbye.
Poggers, I helped. Oh my god. That was a lot of information. I need a second. My fucking head hurts. I need like 3 minutes. Holy shit. You know what the worst part is? Actually, wait a minute. Give me 1 second. Brother, calm down. Calm down. Shh. Shh. Okay. Unironically, incredibly based. I love that I don't have to abandon this shit. I'm so glad I don't need to abandon my fucking rogue tank this list. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be playing DPS basically through the end of Phase 2? And then leveling wise, I'm playing DPS. I don't want to fucking contend with like boosted fucking mages that just do way too much damage to even like hold on to threat. Like, it's not happening. I'm not doing it. I'm playing DPS until I'm going to play DPS until I have the gear to actually tank. That's straight up. I can't. Dude, Scarlet Monastery changed me. Okay, I came out of that fucking dungeon a changed man. That fucking place was torturous. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Why does this feel so loud? Sure. Now, here's the really funny thing. I just spent the last 40 minutes watching WoW content. Give me just one moment. I'm going to spend the next... Oh, that's not bad. The next 5, maybe 10 minutes tops, reacting to Valorant content.